Hi guys, welcome back. I was gonna talk today about breastfeeding and formula feeding and stuff like that, but I just honestly wanted to come to you and tell you that this little man is such a blessing. Teen pregnancy is frowned upon and it's hard, and it's gonna be everything that ever ends up mattering to you. Like, all day I've been trying to record little bits to put in my vlog just to show you guys like what it's actually like for me in the morning, like taking care of him. And he's been in such a bad mood all day. And I mean, I guess I can talk a little bit about breastfeeding and formula feeding. Okay, so breastfeeding and formula feeding. I'm not saying either way is better, but for me, I personally wanted to breastfeed exclusively until at least 6 months. And so we did. We started breastfeeding and it was going really well, and he was latching very, very well. But he started at like 2 weeks having a lot of pain and being very, very gassy and having very watery stool instead of regular stool. And you can tell if something's wrong automatically by a baby's stool. So when I brought him to the doctor, I asked, like, could it be his hernia from his umbilical cord, or could it be that he's just having a hard time getting used to it, or that he's allergic to me? And the doctor assured me that no, it's not that he's allergic to you, like, it wouldn't be that, blah, 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 and I'm sure it's just his hernia giving him a little bit of trouble, but as long as you can push their belly button in, it's still okay. So just make your next appointment and we'll see how it is then. And the next appointment isn't until 4 weeks. So then at 4 weeks we went back and I told him, I'm like, he's projectile vomiting a lot and he's really having very watery stool. And I showed him a video of it because he didn't really believe me last time. So I took a video and I showed him, and then I showed him pictures of it. And while we were there, the entire time he was crying. So at 4-week checkup, we left with him saying, well, he's just colicky. He's just a colicky baby because he cries for like 3 or 4 hours. So he's just very colicky. So it's going to be hard for you. But there's nothing you can do about it, really. They just have to grow out of it. So then we left and I was like, you know what? Okay, he's the doctor. I'm going to listen to him. But I still don't feel like that's just it. So a week later, I called after hours to whoever was on call, and I told him everything that was going on, and he said, no, you should come back in. So 2 days later, we went back in to a different doctor, though, because his primary doctor was all booked up. So we went to see a different doctor, and I told her everything. I showed her all the pictures and videos, and she said, no, it's not normal. Like, that shouldn't be happening, and it's not just colic. If your baby is passing stool that is like water and oil and not the solid seedy mustardy color that it should be if you're breastfeeding, then something is wrong. So she sent us for an ultrasound. So the next day we went to get an ultrasound just to make sure he didn't have like a mass in his little belly that's making him not go to the bathroom well. So we went to get the ultrasound and it came back clear. So I believe it was that Saturday that she called back, said no, he's okay, but we're gonna order him baby Zantac and send him to a GI specialist, gastroenterologist specialist, to just check out what they think is going on, because it's really their expertise, not his primary care doctors. So when he got the baby Zantac, he started doing a lot better just with the projectile vomiting, and that was awesome. Like, he was not crying so much. He started drooling really bad because he was having such bad reflux that if he swallowed his spit, it would hurt his throat. So he just started drooling and drooling and drooling, and it's gotten better since then completely. Like, he still spits up and he still drools because he's a baby, but not like it was. Like, he was just pouring it out, and that's not how it's supposed to be. So then a week after that, I still hadn't heard anything about the GI specialist and what's going on and when we have an appointment or anything like that. So I had to call the doctor's office like 3 times on 3 different days to say, okay, we need the specialist, because my baby is in pain and I do not want him in pain anymore. Like, that's not okay. If you're a mom, the hardest thing to go through is your baby being in pain and you can't do anything about it, like, at all. So all you could do is hug him and hold him and comfort him. So that's all I was doing, but that wasn't enough. He was hurting. He needed more. So eventually we got the appointment with the specialist and again showed him the pictures and the videos and told her what was going on, and basically she informed us that, like, since this intestine, like the small intestine and the large intestine, what each of them do. The watery stool was because his stomach couldn't handle my breast milk and it was trying to coat itself to not ruin its large intestine, so it was coming out oily and watery. And that mucusy was the mucus that's trying to protect his intestines. And then the projectile vomiting was from it not being able to digest it quick enough, that it was just sitting there and it needed to come back out, so it would just come back out with force. And so she basically told me that either I could run tests on him and go on a even stricter diet, because I had already cut out dairy and starch for almost 3 weeks and it wasn't getting any better, and it should have gotten better by then if it was anything that I was eating, and it just didn't. So she said, well, either we can run tests or we can try formula, and not just regular formula, a special formula, because he can't break down the proteins in my breast milk. So essentially he's allergic to it, but really he just has a milk protein allergy. That and being lactose is completely different if you want to do your own research about it. So the formula he's on is called Neocate, and basically what it does is it has very small proteins, and instead of having to digest the food, it kind of just gets absorbed into them, and it's a lot easier for them. But I really didn't want to formula feed. Like I said before, I very, very badly wanted to exclusively breastfeed, because in my opinion, which might not be everybody's, but in my opinion, it's a very great bonding experience, and it's just something that I very much wanted to do with my son. So it was really hard for me, and I started crying in the middle of the doctor's office when she left that I can't breastfeed him anymore, and it's something that took me about a week to come to terms with, that I was the reason that my son was in pain, that my milk, what I was giving him, what should be giving him life and eternal happiness, was actually causing him great discomfort, and that isn't how you should look at it at all. That's not it. You cannot help if your baby has a sensitive stomach, and it took me a long time to realize that it's not my fault. It's just he has a sensitive belly, and in the end you need to do what's best for your kid, what's gonna make him happy. So we did that, and we've been on formula for about 2 weeks now, and he is doing a lot better. Like before, I would have to give him the max amount of gripe water and gas drops and the Zantac just to get through the day, and now we use the gripe water like once a day, if that, and he hasn't had gas drops in a couple of days, and he takes the Zantac as it's prescribed. But going to formula opens up a whole new thing of issues and side effects and changes in their bodies. So switching to formula, a lot of people go gradually. Like if you look it up, because I did not know what was going on with my baby, if it was normal, if it was he's in pain and I should call the doctor, or if it's just he's in pain but that's what he's gonna go through because he's switching to formula. So basically I'm making this video because I didn't know, and I couldn't find anything on YouTube about it, or I couldn't find anything on Google about it. Everything just kept saying gradually transfer your baby from breast milk to formula so that their digestive tract gets used to it, it's not such a shock on their system. But some people aren't able to do that. Like, he's allergic to my breast milk. I was not able to just gradually introduce it to him. I had to stop cold turkey, stop breastfeeding him right when I left that doctor. Right before we went there and I fed him was the last time I'll ever breastfeed him, and I didn't know it. So that's just sad for me. But he's been doing formula since 3 o'clock that afternoon, and when you switch from breastfeeding to formula, their stool goes from the mustardy seedy that I talked about earlier to a dark green really thick consistency, and it's very easy for them to get constipated. And so he's been having a lot of issues, especially the first couple days. He had a lot of issues with getting his stool out. So we had to trigger it. Where are you going? We had to trigger it with Frida Baby Gas Wendy. I'm sure I have one around here somewhere. But we had to trigger it, and for the first 2 days he couldn't go to the bathroom on his own, and he was in a great deal of pain just because it was such a shock to his system. But after those couple of days, it started to get easier. Then he went to the bathroom on his own for 2 days, and then it's normal for them to have a couple day periods that they don't use the bathroom if they're on formula, just because it moves through their system slower. And so he hasn't gone in a few days, and then today I just thought he was being so naughty. I thought he was being a very naughty kid, and he just wanted to be held, and he was having a lot of and he was having a lot of separation issues, because when he was crying so much, I would hold him all the time when he cried, and I would let him fall asleep on my chest. So I just thought that he was getting very clingy and attached, and so I was just leaving him in his bed all day and letting him do whatever he needed to do, and just cry it out, or just hold him eventually, or feed him, or try to help him get his gas out, whatever the issue may be, because we don't always know what it is. And then a couple of hours ago, he started crying actual tears, and he's never done that. He's never had multiple streams of tears coming down. He's let out 1 or 2, but he's not had multiple streams of tears and been having a runny nose because he's crying so much. And he has. So I decided to get out the gas Wendy and try to see if he had trapped gas, and he ended up going to the bathroom, and it was very much that he was constipated, and he was just wanting to be held because he was hurting so bad. Right after we got it out, he took a little nap to get over the trauma of, oh my god, someone just stuck something up my bum and triggered all of my poo to come out. So after he went to the bathroom and took his little nap, he became a happy little baby again, and we got to take a couple pictures and take a couple videos of us playing together, and he just became awesome again. So, formula feeding and breastfeeding, you really need to do what's best for your kid. Don't listen to anybody, oh, formula feeding is bad for them, they're gonna get sick, or breastfeeding is disgusting, that's not what you should do with your baby, because it's not disgusting at all. It's literally the best bond you could ever have with your kid. And if you can't do it, then a lot of moms are disappointed about it. It's not something that should be judged or not. It's something that literally gives life to your baby. Anyways, so if you're gonna breastfeed. Don't be ashamed about it. Do it in public if you want to. Don't if you don't want to. It's completely up to you. It's what you and your baby think is best. Well, not really what your baby thinks is best, because he can't really tell you yet. Yeah, right now he's telling me he thinks it's best to take a nap. So if you're gonna formula feed, do it. If you're gonna breastfeed, do it. Do whatever is best for your baby. If you end up not being able to formula feed or not being able to breastfeed due to money or allergy, or you just don't want to, that's fine. It happens. And there's plenty of other moms that do it. But if you are going to switch cold turkey from breastfeeding to formula feeding, the first couple days are going to be hard, and expect some crying and fussiness, because that's just what's going to happen. They're getting used to it. But since he has transferred, he hasn't been crying for the 5 to 7 hours a day that he ended up crying. He's just cried like a normal baby. They cry when they have gas, they cry when they're upset, they cry when they want to be held. They just cry sometimes. But crying for 5 to 7 hours is not normal baby crying. It's not good for the little guys. So he really needs to take a nap, obviously, so we're gonna get going. and say Happy Valentine's Day, because we're recording this on Valentine's Day and it's not going to be uploaded till tomorrow, but that's why he's wearing his cute little Mommy's My First Valentine shirt, and I'm wearing pink and pink makeup because I don't wear pink. But thank you for watching our video. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram. I have a mom page and a personal page. My mom page is rolo.mommy and my personal page is hunterann123. And we will see you tomorrow for another vlog. Say bye guys, happy Valentine's Day. So, you're still burping. Because he's just not sleeping and he keeps crying. You're such a cutie. And it's just bad today. I love my baby, but sometimes I'm just too tired for this. And he just does not get that.